The idea is that you put your documents and videos into Classroom Salon, and the students provide location-based annotations on your documents and videos. And then we aggregate all these annotations into hotspots. Now the hotspots tell us where the students are having trouble or what part of the document or video they want to discuss in class. So these are the analytics actually drives your class discussions the next day. So the analytics are a very important part of flipped learning.
Yeah, the analytics play a major role in the flipped classroom as we restructure how time is used in today's classroom. Analytics can show us how to use that valuable class time in the right way for the student, in a personalized way that creates an environment that works best for them. And so learning analytics creates an intelligent curriculum for a teacher. It allows us to use this intelligence to guide how we shape the face-to-face classroom experience. This spring, our teacher had the students read a New York Times article.
And rather than simply having my students read it and respond to it, I wanted them to read it and to comment upon biases they saw within the article and see what parts of the article and statements within the article actually resonated with them, and then have an opportunity to comment on those, and then an opportunity to comment on the observations of the other students. And the girls absolutely ran with it. There were several girls who had literally dozens of posts on this one article in responses to other girls. So it was really more effective even than I would have guessed, and it led to remarkable discussion the following days in class because we had a baseline to start from. What I saw in the analytics was I could see which statements really were important to them, that they were affected by, that they thought were important, or that they felt were very, very biased, and could get a better sense of kind of where they were coming down. And there were some surprises there. There were statements that a number of them focused upon that I really wouldn't have expected them to. Had I done this in the traditional way, I would have led the discussion. I gave the assignment one day, and they worked on it typically at home that evening. And then in the morning, I went to their responses before class just to get a sense of where they were.
And he used that data to guide how groups were formed in discussions the next day.
Students can extend conversations that they create in the first place. But one of the big things about the STEMX is that we want the students to collaborate a lot more than what they do right now.
Self-organized learning environments are created when teachers and parents allow students to drive the learning by creating their own big questions, by collaborating and by creating. That X is so important because it's really about the collaboration and the communication and the inquiry that occurs as a part of the scientific and the engineering design process. And the collaboration that can occur inside of Classroom Salon lends itself naturally to the X that's a new part of STEM. It's really something that fits very nicely to create opportunities for students to be creative and collaborative and form groups. That's what real life STEM is all about.
And it lends itself well to the ability for them to really question and comment what each other are saying. It's a conversation, but you can see it. I can see it as a teacher, and if I want them to, they can see it as students. It's a really remarkable tool to be able to allow you to see, again, what's really resonating with students. It's a way of assessing the new classroom. That's really what it is.
But what's great about Classroom Salon is I can actually now measure participation. I can now see how is a student engaging because I can look at those learning analytics.
Whatever kind of teacher you are, you want your students to be engaged, and you want to find ways to motivate them to be engaged. And that is what Salon really does. It forces you to focus on depth rather than breadth. What that means is that time being precious, you may have less time to actually present material. You may be able to cover, and put that in quotes, cover less. But what you do, you'll do more completely, more thoughtfully, and in a very, very real sense, students will have a much, much deeper understanding of what you're trying to get across to them, which is far, far, far more valuable.